back to another episode of The Crossroads, the intersection of faith and life.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
It's been a while,
Yes.
man. You know, it's life sometimes gets in the way a little bit, but it feels good to be back. It feels
Yeah.
good to be doing this again.
It does.
I missed it.
Yeah.
And we have a wonderful new host.
Yeah.
here as
Yes.
well.
If you're watching,
You might be noticing that this is not Sebastian.
Yeah, unfortunately, my voice does not sound like Sebastian's voice. His is a little higher. So, no, just kidding. But yeah, no, I was a guest, 2 episodes ago?
One of the highest rated guests.
I think it's our most watched episode. I believe.
Oh, wow.
I believe. Our Elton is going to have to check on
Look
that.
on that,
Yeah, fact check that.
Exactly. But yeah, and then just to give a little update to the people on what happened with Sebastian, he moved up to Ohio. So he's currently the chaplain of Kettering University?
I think it's a school, yeah. It's a school.
It's a university, yeah. And he is the chaplain up there. So he's doing great work. But we kind of had to let him go.
Yeah. The show had to go on.
Had to keep on rolling.
Some would argue we made an upgrade. I don't know.
We'll
have to see how the numbers look.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if we get better numbers. Sorry, Sebastian.
Hey, Crossroads family, this is Sebastian, and I'm super pumped to be able to share with you just on what's happening with Crossroads and just an update on our life. So Chantal, Santi, and I, and our girls, Zoe and Sai, have moved to Ohio. We are in Kettering College now, where I'm serving as the campus chaplain and director of campus ministries. And because of that, because of distance and transitions in life, Crossroads will continue. But we unfortunately won't be able to be there to journey along with that. But we're excited, and I'm excited. I'm super pumped to have the conversations continue to go with AC, with OG, and with AG, Amalia, and we're excited to be able to see that continue to grow. And with Elton behind the scenes, it's an amazing production, amazing conversations. I'm super excited to see what God's going to do through what Crossroads will communicate. So to those continuing the legacy, love you guys, proud of you all. And to those that listen on the daily and have journeyed with us from the beginning, super pumped that you've been with us. Hopefully the continued conversations are a blessing to you as they have been to us and to those that will be continuing to lead that. Love you all. We'll see you later.
I figured what we could do is, share a little memoriam, if you would, for Sebastian. I mean, he did it with you guys for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So, he was integral part, one of the hosts, one of the people that helped start it up and everything.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any last words to say? Any good memories of your time with Sebastian?
I'll go. I mean, Sebastian is one of those people, man. It's how do you not like Sebastian?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the one thing that I noticed that even on our show and just in general and how we operated was he was always trying to unify people. Anytime there was any potential discord or anything that was a little bit off, it's ingrained in him to say, how can we figure this out and minimize anybody not feeling like they're being heard or not getting he was like a peacemaker. Mm-hmm. He's a peacemaker, and I miss that about him. And he's just a good guy, man. We had a good time working with him, and I wish him all the best, man. Sebastian is good people. He's good people, that's the biggest thing that I remember about Sebastian, just the fact that he was always trying to make sure that people were like, we're good. Is everybody good? Okay, cool. All right, we're good. But that's the one takeaway I have from the time that we got to spend together doing the show.
I love it. AC?
He's a very relatable person. It's funny because we're talking about him like he's
like he died.
Like he died.
No, we're giving him his flowers.
I said in memoriam.
He's still alive.
Peace.
Sebastian is alive and well.
He's doing great.
He's doing fantastic.
He's just not here with us, but he's still doing fantastic. Just a very relatable, down-to-earth person.
Yeah.
Some people, when they have any sort of position, sometimes they can tend to lord it over you, and that's not him at all.
Yeah.
And I think we were blessed to have him under the humility that he showed, and it's great to have Amalia because Amalia is the exact same way.
Sure. Yeah.
Just very humble, easygoing, very relatable. Just a really good friend of ours. And then on a personal note, myself and my wife, all of our major life events since we met, he's been a part of.
Yeah.
So he was there when we started dating. He was there when we got engaged. He married us the first time during COVID when we had to have a small wedding.
Yeah.
He married us the second time when we got to do the wedding that we planned. He was there for our son's birth and all of the health complications that came with that. He dedicated him. So we've shared a lot of life experiences.
Interwoven in a very deep way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I can say this because he's put it out on social media, so I'm not breaking any news. But our lives are still kind of intertwined. He FaceTimed us right after Valentine's Day, and we never we're cool, but we're
not FaceTime.
We're not FaceTime
on a regular basis.
Yeah, we're texting,
Yeah.
social media, whatever. So I was like, it's kind of odd. So I answer it, and he's like, just kind of chatting, then shares the news that they're expecting their second child.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Congratulations. Hold on one second. I had to pull out the song.
You went up. I raise you
Right.
another child.
I see your child and I raise you another child. So
And congratulations to you
Yes,
guys too, man.
congrats.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So we are due dates are 1 week apart. So they're scheduled to be like right around the same time. So that's pretty cool. And it's just cool because, like I said, our lives have just kind of been interwoven. All these major life events have happened, and him and Chantal have been a part of it. So
That's really
even
cool.
though they're in a different space, different area, we still keep in contact, and it's cool to see that we're still going to have these life events where they're a part of it. So it's pretty cool. So Sebs, we miss you. We wish you all the best. We know you're going to do fantastic, amazing things, and we're still rolling here. So anytime you're back in town,
No, facts.
stop on through.
Put 'em in.
You'll go from host to guest.
That's right. That's right. That'll be good.
That would be so great. Yeah. So, yeah, Sebastian, I know I did one episode with you, but I definitely just know you from a pastor to pastor sense, and you were missed here. I will say that. So, you're not dead, but there's a hole in our hearts.
Yes.
So
I like that.
I will say it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to transition that, but we're going to. How was your guys' week?
Man, it's been a good week, man. Like it's not a whole lot's changed, man. My day-to-day cycles are pretty much the same. But it's been a good week, and I'm looking forward. It's starting to get warmer now, which is nice. So I feel like the cold of Florida, which we really can't complain. People in Massachusetts, where I'm from, had like 3 or 4 feet of snow. But it's starting to get warmer out, and we had the time change.
Yes.
So then I'm starting to feel better. Like when I got out of work, I still have some daylight if I want to do something. So, but no, man, life is good, man. I'm glad to be back doing this, nothing major.
Things are good, man. Things are good. Life is good. I think the last time we recorded, I was working in one role. I've since switched job roles, same company but different role, and that's afforded me a lot more work-life balance.
Yeah, nice.
It's a lot less stressful,
Nice.
so it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So I'm really happy with what I'm doing now and just kind of how my career has kind of taken me.
Yeah.
The time change is, I know you mentioned that, you're feeling good with the time change and you're coming out and seeing more daylight when you leave work. I enjoy the daylight when I leave work. My problem is the morning.
The darkness of
The
the
darkness
land.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a morning person, and losing that hour of sleep always hurts me because I'm just trying to.
You're trying to catch
I'm
up.
trying
It
to
takes
catch
you
up.
time to
It
get
takes it takes me like 2 to 3 weeks to like get into a new groove.
It's like it's 1 hour, bro. 2 or 3 weeks.
Hey,
it's like you think we
man.
crossed
There's
over to
studies
like
that show
6 time zones.
there's studies that show like heart attacks go up like
Really?
the
Yeah.
week after.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's a serious health issue.
Okay.
It's serious.
All right.
Yeah,
Because
so-
I'm like, yo, don't you dare travel to Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look, if I'm traveling,
jet lag for 8 months.
I have yet. So I love to travel, but I've only had to experience a time change or a time difference of an hour in all of my travels. I've never had to experience anything greater than an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh
And
man.
so like
About to-
I haven't gone like far out west,
West.
where you're going back 2 and 3 hours. I've gone far enough west where you're going back an hour. I've gone to the Caribbean,
Which is like
An hour,
which is-
depending on where.
depending on the time of year where you travel.
Yeah.
And even with that, it's a little bit of an adjustment, but not too bad.
And you're on vacation.
But because you're on vacation,
Yeah,
you know, so you're like, yeah,
You're
we'll
on
sleep
vacation.
in, we'll, you know,
right.
take a nap.
But when you're like you're still trying to keep your rhythm, your routine, and you've built this rhythm, and now someone's changed the beat on you, you're like, all right, I gotta like shuffle my feet a little bit, find the rhythm so I can get back in the groove. So that's where I'm at right now. Like this morning, I was just like, I don't want to get up. I really don't want to. I know I have to, but I don't want to. I eventually did and got rolling.
Yeah.
It takes me a couple weeks of that before I can really get back into my groove. So that's
so
where
if we
I'm
see
at
you
right
struggling for a month or two,
You'll
just
understand.
know that it's from the time.
It's
time
the
all
time
right,
change.
all
It's
right.
the time change. I'll be good by June.
From the 1 hour.
I'll be good by June.
I'm like, don't you dare go far. Oh man.
Oh man, no. Speaking of time changes,
Yeah.
I am just going off of vibes right now.
We got to give you a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Tell the listeners and like you are. I'm amazed by your ability
so
right now.
I went back out to California this weekend. So I flew in. I got in at like midnight California time, which is like 3 a.m. here. Oof. And then the time change happened while I was there preaching.
Oh.
And then I took a red eye last night to get here this morning. So I truly don't know what time zone I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Your
I am
brain's
somewhere
confused.
in time,
Yeah.
and that's all I know.
It's dark out.
Yeah.
That's all you know.
So tomorrow is just like a.
You need to recover.
Yeah, tomorrow's like
you
a
need to get right.
recovery day.
It's not.
Oh, man.
No, it's not. I'm driving down to Orlando tomorrow.
Oh.
So for
Yo,
meetings.
that pastor life, man.
Man.
Yeah, but hey, no. So you're 1 hour. I am so apologetic. However,
Everything that I said, I take it back. I retract my previous
I was about to
statements.
say. However, I feel like I got this.
Yeah.
So,
You're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
man.
I have to be. I have to
You
be.
don't have a choice.
So yeah, no, I was out this weekend. I was out at a teen girls retreat. So I was the main preacher for that for freshman to senior.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it was like 80, 90 girls. It was so cute.
That must have been kind of fun.
Oh
that
my
must have been
word.
fun.
It was so fun. And it's so funny because I didn't used to be like, oh my word, I love women. Like I didn't used to be that kind of person because I was like, oh, you're boxing me in.
Sure.
And now I'm like, give me all the women's ministry things
Yeah.
at all time. Like, let me just speak to women. No offense to the men. But like,
Yeah.
I want to keep doing this. So it
Well, you
was-
feel like you almost like have a lot to give, or just like what do you think is the reason?
I guess I just don't have to be as like gender neutral when it comes to like illustrations and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I can just tell them the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like they're like, oh yeah, I understand what's going on. Like I can make a period joke.
Yeah, and
on
they're
the
all
pulpit.
they're gonna get it.
And they'll-
And yeah, if I did that in church,
Everyone's
there'd be problems.
Wait, what?
There'd be problems.
Yeah.
But it's a little different.
Sure,
You know
sure.
what I mean? But no, that was fun. That
That's
was
cool.
a lot of fun to do.
That's good.
So yeah. Well, I'm super excited about this topic because I found the global member. Let me get it correctly. The global church member survey of the SDA Church for 2022-2023. It's like an 185-page document, and I sent it to you guys because it was something I was preaching on a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey guys, take a look at this. What do you think?"
And this is a survey for anyone's not. This is a survey of all Adventists in
Yeah.
the world.
Well, not
that were not all,
all
but
of
that
them.
were willing to participate.
Yeah.
But it's a worldwide survey.
Exactly.
Cross section of the entire
Adventism.
Worldwide
entire- yeah.
section of
Okay.
Adventism. It was like about 150,000 people that did the survey.
Okay.
So it's actually like a good amount.
Good amount of people.
Yeah, it's a very solid amount of people. And it kind of talks about like Adventist beliefs, Adventist lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. Honestly, I'll just give Elton the link and he can put it on the podcast if you guys want to look through that paper.
It's a lot of pages.
It's just a
I mean,
lot
it's
of pages.
informative, but it
It'll
is
be
a
in
lot.
our show
It's
notes.
interesting. The results are interesting.
Yeah.
It is. The
Yeah.
results are interesting. And so to me, I was like, this would be really fun to talk about because the podcast is Crossroads, this intersection of faith and life. And I see very adamantly parts where it's like our church members do not have a crossroad. Like their faith and their life are like
Very different.
in opposite directions. And I'm really curious to like kind of unpack why, how,
Yeah.
all that
Yeah,
kind
that'd
of
be fun.
stuff. But before we get there, I really just want to ask you guys, when you were glancing, when you skimmed it, what were you thinking? What were your like first impressions kind of like looking at it?
So there's one, I want to make sure that I'm quoting it right. It was talking about online access. So essentially how many people or what percentage of people access their church community via online. And it was really interesting because you would think, just hearing that a majority of that would happen like here in like the US, like that, like this kind of society. But it was actually, 56% of the global sample use social media to attend church once a week or more. But more than half or more in the North American region, so the continent of North America, use social media to attend church less than once a month or never used it at all. So that was more like outside of North America that was doing that, which is not typically something that, for me, I didn't think that was going to be the case. I thought it would have been flipped.
Do you think it's because they're tuning into American
with that
church?
That might be it. That might be it.
American programming, because we probably put on a little more
We
programming.
put a lot more, yeah.
So they're like, hey, we're tuning into whatever 3ABN, Hope, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm wondering if that's why.
That's possible. Yeah. Which is interesting because again, I think it leads to a greater point. Maybe we want to have a conversation on it or not. But I think with the SDA Church, and for those who are watching or listening that may not be familiar with the SDA Church, we are all, that is our faith background. So that's kind of where we have the most of our Christian experience. I find that with our denomination, a lot of it can sometimes skew towards the North American
100%.
kind of culture.
Yeah,
and so
100%.
whatever North America is doing, everybody else is going to do. And so that would make sense that they are tuning, they're looking like, all right, what are they doing over there? Whereas in North America, I don't need to tune in. I'll just go to church down the street.
Exactly.
So I think there are other denominations where it feels like there's a very huge online presence where you've got communities of faith that are built solely online. There is no come to a brick and mortar location. It's all pull out your phone, pull out your tablet, tune in on a laptop, put it on your smart TV. But for Adventism in North America, it seems to be a little bit different, which I found interesting.
Yeah, no, that's definitely. I'm also curious because there's also like demographics on the thing too, or on the survey, and the NAD has some of the like highest median age compared to all the other unions. So North America has the highest median age. All these other ones are like 30s, 20s.
It's a younger.
Yeah, it's a younger generation of Seventh-day Adventists, while ours is like 60s. So I'm also curious if that has something to do with it. You know what I mean? But I mean, I see what you're saying in real time because I try to follow as many Adventist social media pages as possible just to know what's going on. And if you go to like the regular Adventist Instagram and you scroll through the comments, they are usually in saying hi from not the United States.
Right.
Like
so they're
hi
the
from
ones
the Philippines, hi from like Mexico, hi from like Kenya. You don't find Americans in the comment section. So I see exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I definitely
and
do.
kind of almost piggybacking off what you said, because I do that too sometimes on Facebook. And I notice that a lot of the comments you'll see on social media tend to lean very conservatively.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're going to see an Adventist post on Facebook and there's comments, I mean, you'll have some trolly comments, but most of the comments are very conservative comments. And that's something that stood out to me the most in the survey was the difference between the NAD, which is North America, and the rest of the world, right? Like, if we were on one side of the spectrum on the survey, like everyone else was always either less, or if we're down here, then everyone else is over here.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like you think that Adventism in general is the same worldwide, or close to it, and it's very different. It's very different, and I noticed that the majority of the world is way more conservative than NAD is, North America.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it gets a little bit interesting too when you see like our church, for example, it's kind of a melting pot of different people coming from all over the world, and you can see that everyone has like their own brand of what they think Adventism and Christianity should look like, which creates a lot of issues. It can anyway, and it's weird how that happens because we're all supposed to be worshiping the same God, right? So then it's kind of one of those things. Why does your Christianity look so much different than mine? And then it can create a lot of push and pull, and you experience it probably more than he and I do as a pastor.
Yeah.
We don't think we should be doing this.
Exactly.
Why? Because at my church in this country, we didn't do that. And so there's a lot of like baggage in a way, or it's like, no, I think we should be doing this because at my church in Miami, that So it's interesting to see how different our country and our continent area is compared to the rest of the world. Women's ordination was a big thing.
Yeah,
where like in our country, it was kind of more like, oh, it might be okay. But the rest of the world's like, no, we're not having it.
Exactly.
So I don't know. That's the thing that I noticed the most is like we're definitely very different in one way or the other than the rest of the world is in terms of our Adventism. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's crazy because like you said, I think we think we're all alike. Like, oh, we all have the similar beliefs. We all have this kind of guiding lines. So yeah, we're all the same. And yet you look at these stats and it's like, no, there's definitely some differences between one group and like another group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's one that there's a few that really stood out to me. And I think one of the ones that I just thought was hilarious. It says Adventist church members are eager for greater involvement in evangelism and discipling, but do not currently engage in proportion with their enthusiasm, which I thought was such a nice way of saying that. Like,
right.
They're really enthusiastic. They just don't always follow
just don't
through.
do it.
Yeah. And I'm like, to me, that's like the opposite intersection of faith and life. That's like your faith's over here, like, yeah, let's do this. And then your life is like, I don't actually do it that much. Why do you think that is, that like diversion?
I think some of it stems from the thought that as a body we should be doing that, but somebody else is going to do it. And I'll just give them the thumbs up. Like, yeah, great, yes, go ahead and do that. I approve. I gave you my stamp of approval. I think there's a lot of that mentality where it's, I see something that needs to be changed. I want it to be changed. But I don't want to do the work. I want somebody else to put the work in, and I'll just stand on the sidelines and say, yeah, great job. Keep working hard. You got this. Go and do.
Or you figure it's someone else's job maybe to do it. I think a lot of times Christians in general, we don't really take ownership over the fact that we're supposed to be discipling. And it's like, well, it's a great idea, but like you said, like it's someone else's job probably to do it.
Yeah.
Or they're better at it than I am or whatever.
Yep.
The same that happened to me. I was talking to you guys earlier, and we're all guilty of this. Where we see something and in theory it's great, but when it comes down to actually doing it yourself, it's very different. We listened to a sermon this weekend by Jose Miguel, and he was talking about how like on Sabbath, we need to. I'm paraphrasing, but we need to be out there and being the hands of Jesus and community and going into our communities and like doing things for people, that's Sabbath keeping, right? And doing things. And he used a lot of text. It was a great sermon. But I was sitting in my seat, like straight, like a hypocrite, because I was like, yes, Jose Miguel, yes, that's it. We need to go into Palm Coast and make disciples. And at the same time, I was thinking, you know what? I have practice today with my group, and I'm not going to get a nap. And this is terrible. I'll get one next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like in my mind intellectually was saying, yes, we need to do this.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, I'm like, but like on Sabbath, for example, in this example, I don't want to do it. Like I want to. It's like when someone says, hey, let's go out for dinner. And you're like, let's go. And then when the time comes, you're like, I think I want to sleep and relax instead. And I think we're all guilty of that where we kind of, we know what should be done and what's the best thing to do. But when it comes down to actually doing it, are we willing to put on our shoes and go out and do it?
Because it requires you to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So to do these things, you have to put in time. You have to put in energy. You have to put in effort. And it requires you to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Like if I'm sitting in this chair right now, I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
If you told me get up and walk a mile out there, I don't really feel like that.
And then it takes time from something else.
It does. Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So then, are you
Absolutely.
willing to sacrifice the comfort time to put yourself out and be uncomfortable for someone else?
Yeah.
Or for the cause, for the
Yeah.
ministry, for the gospel, right? I don't know. What do you think?
I was about to say, it's such an interesting conundrum because as a pastor, I see a lot of people that are like, oh, I have a friend that needs Jesus here. And then they start running. They're like, oh my God.
Like you do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, guys, you're the one that has a relationship with this person. You can't just like dump them off on me. Like this
I don't
is
even
something.
know them.
Yeah, like this is something you have to be involved in.
Yeah.
And yet I can actively say, I did not evangelize anyone until I started pastoring. Like,
So it wasn't something you were doing in your everyday life.
it was not something I was doing in my
Yeah.
everyday life. Like, I remember quite distinctly being like so proud of myself because I was like, wow, I have like friends that I can like evangelize. Like, I can talk about Jesus with in a new way that we've never had this conversation before. I was like so proud. And yet I was like, this is kind of my job.
Right.
Like-
This is what I do for a living.
Like, if it wasn't my job, would this urgency still be here? And that's where the human part of me comes in. Because I'm like, I get what they're saying. As much as I want to say I do this out of my heart, I do this because it's my thing, it's my goal, it's my mission. I do think those things.
Well, yeah, you're human.
I do have those, like, yes. And would that urgency still exist if I wasn't getting paid for it?
Right. So you can't afford to be like Omar in the pew and be like, I can't wait till my next nap.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting because we're not the only ones that think that.
No.
And I bet you if you had polled the audience, everyone would have been like, yes, that's what has to be done.
Exactly.
But how many people actually did that?
Exactly.
Probably very few.
Yeah.
You know?
It is so hard. It's just so hard to, like you said, sacrifice things in order to do those different things. And I get that, like, from a fundamental idea, because I hate working out. Working out is like one of my top 5 nemesis. I would rather do anything else.
You don't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'm with you on that. I also don't like it.
Yeah.
Like you take no joy in it.
There's none. You know how people are like, oh my word, you're going to get an adrenaline high afterwards?
Yeah.
No.
None of
It never
that
feels
occurs.
good.
Like,
It never feels good.
I'm never like, oh my gosh, I feel sweaty and
I miss it.
achieved.
Yeah.
None of that occurs in me. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way about evangelism, where it's like, this doesn't bring me, like, I'm not getting a high out of this like people say I would. So let me just put it off to the side and do it if I need to, like, do an extra thing for God or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I wonder too, because you're not always going to see the fruits of your labor.
Yes.
And so it's like it's going to require you to be uncomfortable. It's going to require you to do something that you may not get any joy or pleasure out of.
Yeah.
And then after all that, there's a potential that you don't see any results.
Yeah.
So there's that makes it very difficult to say I'm going to go do that. That's going to be tough.
It's one of those things though too, and using your analogy, I know this for sure, like for people, once you start working out and get through that, I hate this, and you do it more and more and more, you do get to a point where you're like, you know what, I think this is working for me. I'm getting on a little bit of a roll here, but it's because I've been doing it through the discomfort until eventually it becomes a habit. I'm wondering if this example, like that's how it is with going out, let's say, for example, on Sabbath and talking to people about Christ, right? You start off and it's kind of uncomfortable. I don't know if I like this. And then you start to see, hey, this person is meeting me at this particular place every week because they want to talk more. And you're like, whoa, like it starts to become something you start to really enjoy because you can see, the results in a way of it. Or like you start to feel like it becomes a habit to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And try to be the hands and feet of Jesus in your community.
Exactly.
I'm wondering if it's going to be uncomfortable to start and if it just gets better the more you do it.
That is very possible. So I'll use a real life example. Me and Monique and a couple others, this was years ago, we had this kind of competition going on amongst ourselves. We wanted to challenge ourselves to learn a new language. And so we used this app on our phone that I will not name because they do not sponsor us. Yet, if you sponsor us, I'll name drop. But it was like very challenging at the outset because I didn't feel like I was learning anything. Didn't really enjoy it because it's taking up time. Like I could be doing something completely different. But I got in a routine of doing it every day because we wanted to see, like, can we string a streak together, and who can essentially keep their streak going the longest. And so I was like, all right, well, my competition. I'm a very competitive person.
Yes.
Extremely competitive. Like, it can be detrimental. I know this about myself. I'm aware of it.
It can be a problem.
Yes, I'm aware of it. That's why I try to limit the types of competitions I get into.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to win. Like I refuse to lose, regardless of how uncomfortable this makes me. And so I kept going and going and going. And then I got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm like,
I'm enjoying this.
I'm kind of enjoying this a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was actually learning some words, and I could string a small sentence together here or there. I eventually did. I won the competition. I did win the competition. I eventually fell off, and then that was that.
Was it.
But the point remains that yes, you can, after you get through that difficulty of starting, once you get into this routine, you can actually find some sort of joy or some sort of enjoyment in doing it, even if as a whole you don't really say this is something that I would absolutely do, and I'm gonna drop everything and do this one thing.
Well, you can speak to public speaking, right? For some people, like, you get up and do a sermon, like, I would say for the vast majority of anybody, they'd be like, I would never in a million years do that. And you get up there and you've been doing it, and it's no problem because you've just done it so much that you don't really think twice about it.
That's
probably.
true.
So I'm wondering if it's like that kind of thing. The more you do it, the more you evangelize, or at least go out and put yourself out there in your community, you probably just get past that. It's uncomfortable, and you're like, this is no problem.
I think, to Ashero's metaphor, competition also slightly helps. I don't know if you guys would go to the grown-up Sabbath school class when you were kids, and they would do at the beginning, like, how many people fed the homeless, how many people did this, like, it's old school. They used to ask that at the beginning of Sabbath school. And the class would be like, I did 5. Oh, I did 6. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
So if you have a chart up there every Saturday with members' names.
Asher would be involved, let me tell you.
How many homeless people did you feed this week?
Look, man, I'd be scouring. Hey, do you have a home? Just say that you don't have a home for like 5 minutes. Here, take this food. Here.
A little bar grab.
Exactly.
It's like, wow, Omar, you're really falling behind, Yeah.
That may help.
It would.
It's an idea. Pitch it to the board and see what happens.
We'll see. No. So there's a couple other things that I found interesting in here. And one of them we were talking about earlier, this idea that Seventh-day Adventist Church has a health message. We believe only eating certain kinds of meat, pretty much being kosher. And we also support veganism or vegetarianism. So that's kind of like our health message, our ideas. And so it's interesting to me that there's 48% agreed or strongly agreed that the more they followed the Adventist health and lifestyle standards, the more likely they were to be saved. And yet, fewer than 1/3 followed the health message a great deal. And half of the church said they could pick and choose which parts to follow.
So break it down one more time. So half of the people surveyed said that they believe that living a healthier lifestyle in terms of their diet
helps you get saved. And yet, fewer than 1/3 actually follow this health message.
So the other 15 or so percent,
I don't know what they're doing. What?
Like, we agree that this type of lifestyle, which I'm going to just deviate to the side, that it's crazy to think that any particular food lifestyle helps with your salvation.
Thank you. Yeah.
Like that's a whole other topic, which maybe we'll talk about it next time. But just for the survey,
Uh-huh.
that there's actually, a third, 33%. If you have 50, you got 17%.
Yep.
That said we should eat better to help with our salvation again. But then
And yet
they
the
don't
fried
do
chicken's in hand. Like,
they don't do it. They don't do it.
Exactly.
Wow.
That's a crazy stat to me. And I'm curious why you think, how does that happen? What do you guys think that happens?
I feel like that's culture.
Huh.
I feel like that's culture. There are a lot of culture. So kind of looping back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier, where there's you have a lot of Adventists from other areas of the world. And in those areas, culture where, your diet consists heavily of meat products, meat or animal products. And so it's going to be very hard to say, all right, I'm cutting that out and I'm going to replace it with, they may not have something. So intellectually, I'm like, all right, if I do this, I will get these results, but I got to eat. I don't have anything else.
So there's a
pass the
difference
chicken.
between surviving and biblical beliefs.
Yeah.
So I believe this, but I have to survive.
Yeah. I wonder if that's part of it.
That's sad.
I think a tie-in too could be, because the question is probably not overly specific, it could be tying into the types of food. So let's say for example, you ask them, do I believe that eating certain foods, let's say that aren't part of the kosher biblical diet, let's say we'll use lobster, right? You might have half of the people that said, if I eat these foods, I'm in direct disobedience to the word of God. Thereby, I am not honoring his commandments, and thereby my salvation is at risk.
Yeah.
And then of that same group, they might say, of those people, they might say, but I am only eating the meats that are part of this kosher diet. I'm not eating outside of those, so it's a smaller percentage. I'm wondering, because that should be the same number, you would think.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I think the reason it might be off is they were answering it and if I decide to eat these things that I shouldn't be eating according to the word of God, am I putting my salvation at risk? And they might have said, But then of that group, they might have said, but I don't eat those things. So it's a smaller percentage.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think into the mind of the questioner. And that's a whole other topic too about obedience, and we could spend forever talking about. That's a whole other day.
That might be another episode this season.
Exactly.
But I'm wondering, because that and then there was another half that said no.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To everything. Right?
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay.
No health message, no nothing.
Whatever.
Get rid of it all.
And how was the question phrased?
It was, let's see, which one?
That one about the salvation in the food. Like, how was it phrased?
Yeah. That they followed the Adventist health and lifestyle standards, the more likely they were to be saved.
See, I would have said no, though.
Yeah.
I personally would have answered that no, because my salvation is not tied to a health message.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a good thing.
Exactly.
It's a good thing to eat healthier. God wants us to be the healthiest versions of ourselves, but I wouldn't equate the two.
Yeah.
But half of our church does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot
That's
of
a lot of
people.
people.
That's a lot
That's
of
a lot of
people.
people.
But again, I wonder if that is partly the fault of us as the church in the way that it may have been initially presented to them. We were having a conversation off air before we press record, kind of talking about how in some of these places, locations where missionaries came and shared the gospel, the way that it was shared was kind of authoritative, like, hey, do these things, don't these things.
Yeah.
And so, there was less of a passing on of a relationship and more rules.
Do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
And so, they're just sticking to the,
Sure.
I must do these things, I cannot do these things. And so if I do things I'm not supposed to do, I'm done for.
Yeah.
As opposed to my focus is the relationship. My
Exactly.
focus is making sure that I am as close to the throne as I can possibly get, and everything else will fall into place as I get closer and closer to
And I think that comes as you grow in your spiritual walk. I think the closer you come to Christ, it starts to become more relational and less I'm doing to get closer, right? I'm doing because I am close, because I have, because it's given me grace. So it does change, because I think at all points in our Christian walks, I would say we're just different. I think back to even 20 years ago, like how I thought as a Christian is very different than how I think now. And in 10, 20 years, it'll probably be very different than I think right now. And I think that's an important thing that as you study. That's why I always say it's so important to study the Bible for yourself and read and pray for understanding, because you'll feel an evolution of your faith. It can't be the same. There has to be a closeness and your reasons for a change.
Exactly. I completely agree.
But then it's our job, I think, as when we're evangelizing, to not evangelize with those ideas of like, hey, you better come in or else, and I think Adventists, I think we're very guilty of evangelize. When you think of evangelistic series as an Adventist, what's the first thing you think of? You think of an end time seminar, the little horn,
Revelation.
And it's Revelation. It's like, and Adventists, we're good at prophecy. That's our thing, right? But like who's going to be converted in Palm Coast because of the little horn or the beast of Revelation? Nobody, right? So then our whole message, I think, as a church needs to evolve, needs to change. Because that's not the kind of Christians that God wants, in my opinion. I think he wants relational people. Not people that are like, well, I'm going to stop eating pork, I'm going to stop doing this, and I'm going to try to do the right thing here so that I can I'm good with God. And it's I don't know. I think our whole church needs to, because when you think evangelism series, man, it's going to be Revelation seminar. It's going to be something to that effect.
Net 95.
Yeah, exactly. The fundamental beliefs.
I think, going to your point, I think the best evangelism is action. So just going and doing, meeting a need. When you do that, people realize that you're not just giving lip service. You're not just saying these flowery words to entice them to come and listen to this thing or do this whatever. You're showing them that you really care, because you're taking your time, your energy, you're taking all of that and devoting it to them. You're sacrificing that comfort time where you can be sitting on your couch with the clicker in your hand, a box of popcorn, and you're watching your favorite movie. You said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come and help you with things that you've got going on, issues that you're dealing with. They don't affect me personally. Like, you're all the junk that's in your yard. It's not my yard. My yard is fine, but I care about you so much that I'm going to come and clean your yard because I want your yard to be clean, and I know you want your yard to be clean. That sends a message to the person that you're evangelizing to, that you really care about them. So when you do tell them, hey, we're having an evangelistic series, okay, I'll come check it out.
Exactly.
Because you're clearly cool. You did all these things for me. Least I can do is come and sit down and listen to what you got going on. That is, I think that makes it a lot easier to evangelize when you're just acting, like giving action.
I'm smiling. You're probably wondering why is Omar smiling. I'm going to challenge myself to start doing more for other people on the Sabbath. But as you were saying that, I was like, all right, as you were saying, I'm like, all right, I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, but then I'm like, but like, are you really going to do it? Like, I think. And then you do. I know, as a pastor, it's kind of it's your life, right? It's what you do. But I think those of us who aren't because it isn't the pastor's job in the church to be the only one that's evangelizing.
No.
If we're not all doing it, then what are we doing here, right? Yeah. So
exactly.
And during the week and stuff, I talk to people and stuff, but I'm already doing it. It's actually going out of what's comfortable to do it, right?
Exactly.
I think what helps too is when the church body provides an outlet for that. So it's going to be a lot more difficult to start that on your own if that's not something that you're already passionate about doing. Right? Like you're talking about the gym. It's going to be very hard for you to just get up and say, all right, let's go to the gym.
This is the day.
What is your? There is no real motivation to go do that.
Exactly.
But if a group of your close friends like, hey, we're going to the gym, and we really want you to come.
And we'll go out to eat after.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of entice it.
Exactly.
Like, all right.
Much more inclined to say, I don't really want to do that, but you guys are going, all right, fine, I'll go.
I'll try it.
I'll try it, right? And so, it's funny. my son, he's at that age where he wants to eat what he wants to eat, and he doesn't want to try new things. And so, like a great example, just before I got here, we were eating dinner. It's like, here's some broccoli. I don't want the broccoli. Now you got to eat the broccoli. I don't want the broccoli. Okay, what do you want? I want ice cream. You can't get ice cream until you eat the broccoli.
Eat the broccoli.
Eat the broccoli, because
it's a means to an end.
It's a means to an end, right? He'll try it if he knows that he can get something on the back end that is worthwhile. And same kind of concept. If you've got a group of people, or if the church body says, all right, we're going to offer these opportunities to do these things, and afterwards we're going to have a church social, or we're going to hang out and do this or do that or whatever. It may entice people to give it a shot and say, all right, my friends are doing it. The people that I hang out with all the time, they're going. All right, I might as well go along too, and then I get to hang out and do whatever afterwards. And it's a structure. There's kind
of like you can even tag along,
exactly,
and then be like, okay, let me see how this. Okay, and then I want to do more.
And it gives you the chance to learn. So if you have people that are very comfortable doing that, like you're very comfortable public speaking, if you were to have a bunch of people here and say, I'm going to be the one talking, you don't even have to worry about that. It removes that pressure, that stress, because I just have to do this one little piece. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you become, the more you understand the entire process of it. So you get to a point where like, I don't need you to public speak. I'll do it.
Exactly.
I got this, And so I think that community, that group setting, is really a good way to kind of dip your feet into the water. To start off, to give you the skills, to give you the confidence, so that you can go out. Maybe it's 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades from now. Who knows how long it takes? That's between you and God. But you get to that point where you can say, all right, I can step out. Me and the Holy Spirit, and now I feel confident that I can do this. You look at the story of Moses, right? Moses, when he was called, was like, speaking?
I can't do this. I can't do this.
Not doing that. And God said, I got you. Don't worry. Aaron, you go speak while he kind of gets his feet wet, gets figures it out. And then by the end, right, Moses is out here with a staff, like you stiff-necked people and smacking rocks, and
hitting rocks and stuff.
Right, like you went from shy, I can't say a word, to hear all these people. You're fussing them out, and like that's a 180. But that's because you had the time to get the experience, to figure it out, to learn it before you were all in on it. So I think that's something that our church. And when I say our church, I don't mean just this building, but I mean the church as a whole. I think that's something that we can do better, is providing those opportunities for people to get their feet wet, dip their toes in the water, get a good feel for it, so they can then be empowered to go out and do it on their own.
What do you think is a disconnect? Do you have a thought on like why do you think it's often a disconnect between what people want to do and then what they actually do?
I think, I was gonna, as we're wrapping up here, I was thinking about this whole idea of the less we think of ourselves, the more work we get done. And like, I think even this health message thing, it just shows how like inner focused we can be sometimes. And I think when we're inner focused like that, oftentimes even our evangelism is inner focused. Where it's like, I have enthusiasm and I'm feeling all those feelings and I love these feelings, but I'm not willing to put out the work because that means turning outward. That means like looking at somebody else in the eye. That means like having a conversation. Like that means building friendships, which Adventists are notoriously horrible at. But I think to your point, it really is the more you see yourself as like in a bigger community, as like we are doing this together, and the less you see it as like I have to do these things in order to get to this place, I think you're kind of able to find that intersection in like a deeper way. That's just,
I like that.
It's easy. So stop thinking about yourself, think about others, put up a poll sheet, compete to see who does the most evangelism.
Evangelism
Put
2026.
up a board out in the lobby.
Exactly.
I guarantee if the winner got like an all expense paid
Oh,
trip to like
man.
Oh yeah,
Italy,
like a cruise.
Oh, my goodness.
you would see
Man.
all of Palm Coast converted in a week.
I'll probably quit my job. You'll pay for it.
Oh man.
Oh man. Well, thanks guys for this conversation.
No, it was
I
good.
thought that was.
It was good.
a
And
fun
thanks for
thing to
bringing that
talk
up because
about.
I would have never seen. I don't know where this was published or what. I would have never seen
Yeah,
this
I'd
survey.
be in the cut, honestly.
Yeah.
The Adventist Archive Statistics and Research Department.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I had no idea this was
Yeah,
ever
I was about to say in the cut. That's why you asked me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a really fun topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we have a training. What is it called?
Talking point.
Talking
yes,
point.
Yes. So
yes.
we're
Talking point.
yeah. So
There we go.
To keep up the tradition that we had in seasons past, we have talking point, and so one of the things that Sebastian was notorious for
Yes.
is pulling a card, reading the card, and then reading the card.
laughing, reading the card, smiling and laughing, and then
And
we
then-
wanted him to just pull it out
That's
and read it.
funny.
Right. So I pulled up my phone. I have not looked at it yet.
Okay.
I'm just going to look at it, read it, and we're going.
Let's do it.
All right. Do you think all of the Bible still applies today? Do you think all of the Bible still applies today?
I'll let Amalia go first on that one.
Oh.
Unless you're not sure.
What does the word apply mean?
Okay.
Because I think, especially in my context, if somebody says, yeah, let's apply the whole Bible, that means I have to have my hair covered and I can't be on stage. So that the word
She's like,
apply.
I lose my job.
Exactly. So
I no
I'm
longer
saying,
have a
does
job.
the whole Bible apply? Yes, within context. The principles apply.
I think that's the
I
key word.
think that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree. I think the principles apply; those don't change. I think the theme all will apply forever. But I think there's some of the minutia that was more cultural than it was. You read it in a cultural context and not a literal context.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't read it and say, "Oh, well, that's what they were doing back then. Well, I must do that now." Like Abraham had multiple wives. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That is no, right? There are just some things that were culturally acceptable in those times that they did. That we live in a different culture, in a different time. But the principles always apply. The theme always applies, and I don't think that ever changes.
Well, and the Bible's a story.
Yeah.
Right? It's a story, and I think because even in our Bible study that we do, that sometimes I'll read we'll going over a chapter, and I'm like, man, like God, like what is it that you want us to take from this? And sometimes you'll read a chapter, and it's like this was for that specific people that Paul wrote this letter for, and these are the problems they were having. But I think in all of Scripture, there is something for all of us throughout all of it. Like whether or not you understand it now, you might not get it now. But there's been stuff that I've read that I'm like, there is nothing here for us. And I'll find a commentary that'll break it down. And I'm like, whoa, there's a lot here for us. So I think it wouldn't be in there if there wasn't something for us from the beginning of Genesis to the end of Revelation. But like you said, context is everything. Yeah. And then understanding that the writings, especially like the letters, were to a specific group of people for problems they were having. But I think we can all kind of get something from the Bible.
Exactly.
Like the principles, like you said, is the big thing.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very hard, if not near impossible, to find a situation, a life situation, where you can't find a biblical principle that will apply to that situation.
100%.
It's going to be very, very hard, and I would say impossible to find a situation where you're like, the Bible says nothing, like principle-wise, the Bible says nothing about how I should handle or approach this.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, there's something for everyone in there. You may read some part of the Bible and be like, I didn't really get much from that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because you're not in a space in life where what that is teaching really
Is applicable.
is applicable to your life.
Yeah.
But somebody else, somewhere else, it applies perfectly to their situation. So there's something in there for everybody. And it will always apply.
Exactly. Well, thank you,
Good stuff.
Yeah.
OG AC. We appreciate it. Wherever however, whenever, wherever you're watching. We just want to say thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sounds good.
We're going to have a good season.
Yeah.
I'm excited about what's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to see if we can get a guest or two as well.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
We will.
It'll be good. Cool.
All right, guys. Peace.
All right.
Peace.